You trimmed your beard.
I did, and I regret it already.
Oh no!
It's thin.
I don't have a
Short,
very
guess.
strong. I don't have a very strong chin, and yeah, the beard kind of gives me the appearance of a stronger chin.
Yeah.
And I forget sometimes, and I trim it down too far, and then I go, "Oh no!"
But you grow it back pretty fast.
Yeah. Not
I
fast
typically
enough
don't.
for people to not say, "Hey, where does Chin go?" Oh no! I see it. He's got two. Yeah.
Oh
Yeah.
So it's fine.
Yeah.
It's fine. So if
So
my
what's-
voice is a little raspy, I was painting yesterday. I was painting my daughter's bedroom, and I think I was in there painting a little too long. So I got a little rasp.
That's all right. That's good for the show.
It'll be fine.
Yeah,
It's
there you
good
go.
for the show. Yeah.
Daniel, what's been going on with you in the last 2 weeks, buddy?
Oh man. I don't know. Just stocks and stuff.
Nothing. Just stocks and
Stocks and stuff.
Yeah.
Stocks and stuff. Yeah.
Stuff.
We'll see if I'm in the next GameStop. I don't know.
Well, let's see if you can make any money after the latest Biden tax plan.
Oh, that's only if you make $1 million, which I don't have that problem. So
Okay. Well, then never mind. You'll be fine.
yeah, I'll be fine.
Yeah. No, that's a lie. It affects little people.
It does.
It affects little people. It's going to affect me. I could tell you that. One of the things they snuck into that coronavirus bill is they changed the threshold for online payment processors.
Oh, really?
Yeah. It used to be if you sold stuff on eBay, or if you used PayPal or Mercari or whatever, you needed the threshold was 200 transactions and $20,000 in revenue. If you cross both of those thresholds, they have to 1099 you. Okay, and that's a pretty high threshold.
Yeah.
So they decided to lower it. $600.
Oh, jeez.
Yeah.
Doesn't matter how many transactions. If you accept more than $600 on PayPal, you get a 1099.
Oh wow.
So you sell one used car, and you accept PayPal as
you get a 1099.
You get a 1099 from PayPal.
Yeah.
Or your kid outgrows his clothes, and you sell them on eBay, and you cross that $600 threshold, which is pretty easy.
Oh yeah.
That is easy to do.
It's not $600 in profit. It's $600 in revenue. So even if 30% of that you immediately spent on shipping and shipping supplies and whatnot, doesn't matter. You're getting the 1099. So this whole idea that, oh no, we're only raising taxes on $1 million, bullshit. Bullshit. So
Yeah.
that's how I'm starting my Sunday.
That's right.
Knowledge bombs, Trekcast style.
Welcome to Ferengi Cast, ladies and gentlemen, the galaxy's only podcast for the business of the Federation, where we talk all about your gains, your losses, sells, buys, all of that, how we make money in this Galactic Federation. Okay, so with that said,
well, let's not keep these assholes waiting.
Trekcast.
All right, so it is Trekcast, the galaxy's most unpredictable Star Trek podcast. Here we are again, Daniel, Dan, Chad. It's been 2 weeks. As one of our listeners has said, hey, if we got to wait 2 weeks for the galaxy's best podcast, we'll wait 2 weeks for the galaxy's best podcast. So there you go.
Well, we said what we've been up to. What have you been up to, Chad?
I have been working my ass off. I finished. I did not finish. I was going to lie.
He 3D printed a house.
No.
Yeah.
I have not finished watching Trials and Tribble-ations. I'm about halfway through. But I've seen that so many times.
You had one job.
I know.
You had one job and 2 weeks to do it.
I didn't have 2 weeks. We decided on it like what? We did the poll.
Yeah.
No, I've seen it enough times. I'm good. I wish I would have been able to watch it all the way through because it's watching the first half so far. I was reminded of how many one-liners there are that are just fantastic.
Yes.
That's a great episode. At any rate, we'll get into all that and we can talk about it here a little bit later. Outside of that, no, I've just been working and traveling and working. You would think that when you're on the road, you've got enough time sitting in a hotel room to watch an episode of something, but that is not how it works out in my job.
How long till you build a robot Chad to help you out?
That is coming. That is coming. But first, and we'll hear about why in today's feedback section. But I have to 3D print a copy of my hand to slap you.
Oh no! Why does it have to be your hand?
It's gonna be a 3D print of my hand. That's why.
Oh.
I have the ability to scan my hand in and turn it into a 3D model and then print it. So therefore, I will.
Yeah.
You do?
I do.
Wow.
Oh, I don't even know what else you're scanning.
Well, when you guys said you wanted that statue of me this size, I'm going to actually do it. I'm going to scan my entire self and make a little 3D print.
No one wanted that.
I know. It was a joke. I know.
So what do you have that you use to scan things like that? What is that device?
Well, I have multiple devices. The easiest one to use is a hand scanner. It's in a case out there.
All right, hold on. It's a hand scanner because it's a scanner you hold with your hand, or it's a scanner specifically designed for scanning hands.
Yes,
you have to specify.
It is specifically designed for scanning hands for hand models. So therefore, now I'm
Welcome to Zoolander cast.
Man, we just went so off the rails.
Yeah.
No, it's a scanner that's used in industrial applications for scanning everything from panels of cars, the entire car, the side of a jet, the whole plane, the engines, the blades, the turbines, all of that stuff, everything. So it'll scan anything in the world that you can get in front of it. It has a range, so there's that. But so sometimes you have to move around it. But I mean, the company I work for, we've used those scanners to scan everything from Michelangelo's statue of David to planes to cars. Well, the short answer is 98% of every plane built in the world today is some of our equipment or software is used on 98% of those.
Oh, wow.
The same can be said for like 93% of all cars and 85% of all electronics. So
this is not something that you bought for yourself. This is something you have access to because of work.
It's what I sell, and I have multiple uses for it. I have multiple pieces of equipment that I use when I go around and demo it. So
if I wanted to buy a scanner like this to create 3D models to print up G.I. Joe figures, what am I looking at?
Oh, what am I
looking at dropping?
Somewhere around 210,000.
Yeah. Okay. So we can move on.
So with that said, we have the coffee count, guys.
Yeah. With that said, we're gonna up the
goal on it, so Dan can build his G.I. Joes.
That's it.
Well, and I've got a new scanner that's coming that we just released that'll take 1.2 million points per second. That scanner is detailed enough to be able to scan something like a G.I. Joe figure and be so damn accurate and get every little detail out of it that I could, with very little effort, just scan, click, boom, and maybe 30 minutes later, I'm already printing it. Yeah. So when I get that scanner here in a couple of weeks, that's our newest one, I'll be playing with it.
Is that one portable? Can you
like
bring
that,
it to Vegas?
I don't know if they would be happy with me if I brought it to Vegas.
But Dan, he could make himself a G.I. Joe.
That's it. Actually, I'd be printing casino chips.
Yeah,
there you go.
We could scan all three of us, and instead of a Trek calendar, for the Men of Trekcast, we could have the statues of the Men of Trekcast.
Wow.
Anyway, I don't think they'd be happy with me if I brought it there, but I mean, I could. I travel around with it in my truck all the time. So
how big is it?
No.
It's multiple cases. So, I mean, they're Pelican cases. So, think of like 25 by 24 by 19. That's one case that holds one piece of the equipment. So 2 of those and then a taller one for a stand. So
I'm just picturing myself going up to cute girls. Hey, want to go back to my hotel room and I can scan you?
Daniel, oh my God.
I opened up a can of worms, didn't I?
Killing me, Smalls.
I mean, yeah.
You're welcome.
So, but the better way to do that, Daniel, okay, because I can tell you don't have a whole lot of a use for or a whole lot of practice with this, okay?
I don't know what you're talking about.
When you're right there on the convention floor, you say, "Ladies, would you like to step on over here and we can scan you and make you a 3D model?" That's going to work because they'll just walk right on over. You're right there. You're right there. Yeah. And of course the catch is you don't have to take off your clothes and I'll still get the outline anyway. So
this reminds me of that episode where Quark had to make like an X-rated holo novel for that dude.
Oh yeah.
Kira
with Kira, and he was like trying to get her measurements or whatever.
Yeah, that was so funny. See, what's great about this is I could do that from like 50 feet away and no one would know.
Yeah.
That's kind of scary.
Yeah, that's kind of pervy.
It is kind of pervy. Okay, so moving on. We ready for the news? I guess that's the segment. That's the next segment that we do.
Attention all hands. It's time for Star Trek news.
I mean, it is kind of pervy, but Daniel's the one that said, "You want to come back to my room so I can scan you?"
Yeah. Well, I mean, it would just be a scan.
That's what the kids are calling it nowadays, right?
Yeah.
We can do a TikTok dance and then scan. Should I start with the news before I?
I played the clip already. I'm waiting on you.
Okay. Yeah. First news story comes from Daily Star Trek News, and great news, everybody. Geordi has done it. LeVar Burton is being a guest host on Jeopardy this summer.
Yeah.
So after nearly 250,000 signatures petitioning for LeVar Burton to get a guest spot on Jeopardy, he's going to do it.
That's great.
Yeah, he told Entertainment Weekly that I don't believe that there's anyone out there who's better suited for the job. I think my whole career has been an advertisement for being the host of Jeopardy. I kind of agree with that.
That's pretty good.
Yeah. You know, so they're trying to fill all these guest hosts, right, until they find their permanent host. Yeah. And they're doing it a lot by ratings. So when this happens, guys, it's going to be in the summer. We don't know when yet. Yeah. We got to watch it. We got to give Geordi that bump.
Yeah. We'll have to push it. We'll have to give Geordi the Trekcast bump.
You know it. That they're just waiting on us.
That's a real thing. That's a real thing.
Yeah.
In Hungary.
And Romania. So all of our Romanian listeners.
No offense to the hungry people out there.
That's right. But so he'll be one of the guest hosts to close out season 37. Sure.
Season 37. Holy
I know,
crap.
Right? Yeah.
You know what I can't wait for?
What's that?
I want to see an episode of Celebrity Jeopardy where it's Patrick Stewart.
Yeah.
Jonathan Frakes.
Yeah.
And Brent Spiner.
Oh man.
And LeVar Burton's the host.
Oh man.
Yeah.
LeVar Burton Brent Spiner would just eat them all alive. He would just eat them all alive. That man. He's so funny and annoying. It's awesome. You know what I'm saying?
I'm hoping that, like they do the video Jeopardy where like they have a celebrity read the question every now and then. I hope Brent Spiner pops up in one of those.
Yeah.
So
that would be great.
He's got to have a couple like the Star Trek guys pop up in those.
Oh, he has to.
Yeah.
He has to. It's too perfect.
It's too perfect. Yeah.
Yeah, it's too perfect. Yeah. So
All right. So there's that. Next news story comes to us from ScreenRant.com, and the headline is Star Trek Discovery Season 4 shuts down filming due to COVID-19 exposure. So, yeah.
Yeah, I guess Picard did too.
Huh?
I guess Picard did too. They delayed or something because of that.
All I found was for Discovery, but they're right in the same area, so it wouldn't surprise me.
Or was it not Picard? Strange New Worlds. Strange New Worlds and Discovery both.
Oh yeah. I heard about the Strange New Worlds ones.
Yeah.
I think that was last week. This one is a what they're calling a Zone A individual, somebody who is a key person on the crew. but they're saying that in abundance of caution, they're all just shut down for 2 weeks. No, it doesn't look like anybody else tested positive, and even the person, they didn't test positive. It's just they came in contact with somebody who did. So, and then where they're shooting in Ontario, there's a local stay-at-home order. So, yeah.
I know everybody nowadays loves to be labeled, but wouldn't you? I mean, I would hate to be labeled a Zone 1A person.
Oh, I mean, if you're like Zone B or C, like, well, if their layoffs come, I'm the first one cut, apparently. So, at least you know that. Yeah. All right. So our next news story comes to us from TrekMovie.com, and the headline is John Delancey assures fans that he will annoy the shit out of Picard in season 2.
Oh man!
So
Has he ever?
Yeah, he is dropping bombs on Cameo right now. So like, I almost want to get a Cameo and just ask him questions. But we actually have a clip from one of them. Or do we, Chad?
Yep, I'm ready.
All right, let's play the clip.
Q is back on Picard, and I'm really annoying. Patrick was so happy to see me on the first second, but by the third day, he was like, wow, you are really annoying me.
That was awesome.
That's great, yeah. So he's just there to piss off Patrick and loving every minute of it.
Yep.
Which is great.
Yep.
So, yeah, there you go. And then our last news story, it's just real quick. Also, again, from Daily Star Trek News. And we got a tease earlier this week from Michael Dorn saying he was being summoned back to Star Trek or to Starfleet. Hashtag ad. It ends up, it really was just an ad. Yep. He did a voiceover for a new game. The game is on Apple only. It's called Star Trek Legends. It's free to play with no ads or in-app purchases.
Well, because it's on Apple Arcade. You have to have Apple's Arcade subscription service in order to play it, which I do, and I've played it, and I can tell you what my thoughts are. So,
tell me. Yeah, I don't know anything about this.
So it's actually, I mean, from the look and feel of it, it's pretty good. But the first thing that just was like, really? It involves the Nexus. So that's just kind of like,
you're already pissed off. Yeah,
I'm already pissed off. And then the second thing it involves is Michael Burnham is like the main character.
Oh, really? How does that work?
Well, because it's the Nexus. And so therefore you can get every single person, major character from all timelines and all universes and everything else all in the same place.
Right.
And so you're just basically building these battle squads of, I'm going to have Burnham and she's got these characteristics. I'm going to have Worf and he's got these characteristics. I'm going to have Spock and he's got these characteristics. I'm going to have.
What type of game is it though? Is it like an RPG? Is it a?
No, it's kind of like it's
like an army builder.
It's kind of like a cross between. I don't know if you call it like the Sideways, where you've got like your 3 characters over here fighting the 3 characters over there, and that's it. And there's a little bit of story that's involved in it too.
Okay.
I've only played it for like maybe an hour and a half at that over the last 2 weeks since it came out. I mean, maybe 10 minutes here and 10 minutes there kind of thing.
Yeah.
I haven't seen any.
So
ship
it's a fighting
battles.
game?
Yeah, it's a fighting game.
So it's like Mortal Kombat, but Michael
with
Burnham
Starfleet
and Worf
characters. Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah.
I don't understand. I've said this for years. I don't understand what people's fascination with turning Star Trek games into nothing but fighting and shoot 'em ups. That is not. I mean, I understand in some ways.
Because nobody wants to do take-turn diplomacy in a video game.
Yeah, I understand that. I get that. All right, but what is Trek best at? When it does it, what is Trek best at? Just answer
Should
that.
you leave out the fruit bowl for the negotiations?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, no. But honestly, what is it best at? Just think about it for a moment. Real answer.
Oh, it's exploring and yeah.
Okay, exploration. That's good. That's one. What's another thing?
I don't know.
Characters.
Yeah.
The characters and the stories, right? And you have like, I don't know, 800 hours worth of it to pull from.
Mm-hmm.
You can't tell me you cannot make a compelling game using that. I got one for you. The only Trek game I've ever played that I actually thought they've almost got it right. And that was Star Trek New Worlds, I believe is what it was called. Came out in the late 90s or something like that. and you were basically creating a Starfleet colony on a planet on the Cardassian Federation border.
So
Okay.
it was The Sims.
Do what?
It was
The
The
Sims.
Sims.
Yeah, no. I mean, but you had a shuttlecraft and you had a replicator and you were trying to build a colony and you were trying to build research and you were doing exploration on the planet and you were trying to mine for minerals and it was kind of like a cross between like a city builder, a little bit of diplomacy, some action thrown in here and there because our Cardassians are around.
No, I want Picard's tactical diplomacy team.
Yeah, that's true.
I want to shoot things.
You know what? They can make a popular game out of anything. I mean, 10 years ago, we started getting all of these games where, and they're still around, but where people were planting pretend crops.
Stardew Valley is amazing.
And you know, no, I'm talking about like those stupid Facebook games like Farmtown and Farmville.
Yeah.
And you know, I harvested enough corn to buy a chicken, and now my farm has a chicken. Yay!
Yeah.
I mean, people were eating that up.
They even got games now. What's that goose game? All it is you go around trying to like annoy a goose. You're a goose trying to annoy people, and you get points the more people you annoy, and that's a game. It took someone like an hour and a half to make, and he's made like $100 million off it or something, Stu. I don't know. He's made a lot of money.
Farmer Neelix, and you're growing your Leola root. That'd be the best.
I mean, seriously, like there's so many games they could make quick and easy that kind of build on what we already have instead of just turning it into another fighting RPG, whatever.
I want a Ferengi based game.
Yes, where you're making money.
A Ferengi casino game.
There's nothing I love more than making money. So I even play games where I make money in the game. I mean, seriously. So, I mean,
if they did like Quark's Casino and like you could just skin a casino game.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah,
that'd be great.
That'd be awesome. I mean, this is not hard. This is not rocket science. And these people at Viacom, CBS, and Paramount got their heads up their ass. Anyway,
Words with Jake. You could do like Words with Friends, but with Jake.
Yeah. Words with Jake. There you go. I mean, this is really easy stuff. I mean, they could pop one of these out every week, and everybody would get it. And screw with the ads. You know, that's how they'd pay for it. It's free. Here's the ads at the bottom, and we get paid that way. And it took us an hour.
Yeah, the problem is, you know what they would do? Michael Burnham would be in every one of them.
Oh yeah.
Hey, who's that in Quark's Casino? Oh, that's Michael Burnham. Hey, who's that showing Jake how to write a book? Yeah, that's Michael Burnham.
If they did like a Dr. Mario, but it was Dr. Phlox, take these drugs. What's gonna happen?
See, we have the best ideas. They need to hire us. CBS really missed out about, what was that, a year and a half ago? We kind of talked to them a little bit about it, doing things. You know, they really missed out. We are the imagination engine that Viacom CBS is missing.
That's right.
Anyway.
All right, let's move on to feedback.
Okay, time for feedback. Where is the feedback button? Fuck if I know. There it is. Oh, for crying out loud there.
Hailing frequencies. Open.
Commander Felton told me that these clips are not loud. They're loud as crap in my ear, but everybody says they come out great when they're listening to the show. So I'm not going to adjust it.
Fine for me.
Yeah, for me though, I'm deaf now. So if I start talking louder, it's because I can't hear shit for the next 30 seconds.
Oh no.
I suffer for you.
That's right.
Thanks.
Yeah. You're like, you don't really need to. You just stop. All right, feedback. What do you got, Daniel?
Well, I got an email from Scott
Bouders,
yeah. And he says, "What's up, Daniel, Dan, and Chad? I think Trials and Tribble-ations would be a great time to discuss the discrepancies in looks and styles between different shows and how the showrunners can reconcile that. Take the Klingons. We all know that Enterprise tried to explain that away. But there was no way you could ever do that with an episode of Discovery where Michael Dorn plays at time traveling Worf, or maybe Worf and Martok are the Northerners. Yeah. Peace and long life.
They're the Northerners.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, whatever. There's some of it you just got to just go with it.
You do. Look, there's an explanation for everything. Okay, because we have this thing called imagination, right? And
Reddit all that explain it.
Yeah, exactly. It's true. But really, if you think about it, we've had this discussion before about why certain alien races look different throughout different series, right? Well, we as humans look different from one continent to another, for crying out loud. How different are we going to be when there's a couple of generations of us living on a different planet versus a couple of generations of us living here versus a couple of other generations living somewhere else, right? We're not all going to look the same ever. And what if Discovery really wanted to lean hard into this overdone, into darkness look of the Klingons, which they did, they could have done it, but then also thrown in some Klingons who look like what we normally see. And it's, here's what a genetically pure Klingon looks like, Tyrell, right? And here's what a Klingon who's kind of gone through all the crap like they did via Enterprise and all of that looks like. And oh, by the way, here's one over here that looks like he did during TOS as well, because genetically we're kind of screwed up as a race. They could have done that. They just didn't. So
yeah.
And that all would make perfect sense. I mean, it would make perfect sense.
It would, but
So
I think they fixed it in Enterprise. They fixed it.
Yeah.
And then they threw that fix away.
They did.
So,
they just can't leave it alone. I don't know. That's still a decision that perplexes me with Discovery. Why they did? I think they would have taken about half the ire they got for that first season and not had it had they not done that to the Klingons.
Yep.
About half of it. I think we could have gotten over the other half. Anyway,
I don't know.
Maybe not.
I think if it was more in line with canon, or even if they had just said, "Hey, it's a different universe," period, and just we're gonna start fresh, people would have forgiven it, and just they would have bitched about it at first, but they would have just rolled with it after a while.
There's always bitching. It doesn't matter.
There's always bitching.
There's always bitching.
Yeah.
Well, if there was no bitching, there'd be no podcasts. So,
right.
That's right.
That's right.
We are here to bitch and complain.
Yeah. Do you have any feedback from the coffee account?
I do. I got a lot of feedback from the coffee account. There's a ton of it here. So Commander Felton about 10 days ago says 3 more coffees for the guys. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Commander.
And then somebody 9 days ago made a donation. And then that same somebody, maybe a different somebody, I don't know. It just says somebody. They wanted to be anonymous, made another donation 6 days ago. So that was great.
Thank you, somebody.
And there's quite a few more here, but mostly Daryl. But
oh, those somebody donations are like people who do regular monthly.
Oh, is it okay?
Yeah, that's what that is.
Okay, but here's my favorite one. No offense to anybody else's, but here's my favorite one from Mike Quigley. Okay, listening, he must have just listened to the latest podcast when he made this post. He says, "Sweet feathery Christ, did he say reboot DS9?
Yeah."
Please, and he's talking about you, Daniel.
I know.
Please 3D print a hand, mail that hand to Daniel. Daniel, please unpack said hand and slap yourself with it. Shame on you. That is awesome. So yes, I'm going to 3D print a hand. It'll be my hand, and I'm going to send it to Daniel, and Daniel's going to slap himself with it live on the show. So
look, man, it's gonna happen.
Yeah. Feel free to print an additional hand.
One for you. Yeah. Print 1, print 2. It takes the same amount of time. I might as well.
And when Seth Rogen plays Quark, you're gonna.
Oh gosh. Oh jeez.
Oh my lord.
All right, so our next donation comes from. Oh, by the way, thank you, Mike. We appreciate that, especially when these comments are just awesome content for us to read. So we appreciate all of that. So and then Commander Felton just a day ago said, Chad, during your latest podcast, you threw your clips from the soundboard were loud, but they were fine on the broadcast. They sound the best since you started using it. So yeah, I guess with the way all this rig is set up, that's the way I'll keep it. If it's loud for me, then great. It's perfect for everybody else. So we appreciate that feedback, Commander. We always want to have that critical feedback telling us, what you think we're doing right, what you think we're doing wrong. We all jest and throw it around and cajole, but at the same time, in all seriousness, that feedback is much appreciated so that we kind of know, what we're doing right, what we're doing wrong, where we need to fix things, where we need to say, nah, screw you, we're going to do it that way anyway. So moving on. The next 3 donations are all from Daryl.
Oh, no.
And he says, I can't decide if I want to watch the original Star Trek or the Next Generation. I guess you could say I'm stuck between a Spock and a Picard place. And his next post is, where do Star Trek fans work out? at the He's Dead gyms.
Oh, jeez.
Wow.
That's yeah.
Then here's a serious
like
one.
Next level dad jokes here.
I know these are great. I've been out in the woods too long, lumberjack Daryl. Spent way too much time thinking about it while he's swinging that axe.
Yeah.
So this one's actually good food for thought. And this is part of why I love the show The Expanse so much. So here's his question. He says, "Do you guys see our ship technology in the future more like Enterprise Battle Star Galactica 2004 version?" I don't know what he means by Enterprise Battle, but anyway, 2004 Galactica, the reboot, or more like a Stargate SG-1, which Dan knows nothing about. For ship technology, I would go with a Galactica. I do believe that we're just missing an element that produces massive energy for FTL travel.
So is he talking about like when we have spaceships or like portals? Is that
correct? Yeah. How are we going to actually get from one place to another? What's more likely in terms of being able to move around from one solar system to another? I believe that's what he's saying. I'm going to take it as that.
That's kind of how I'm taking it.
I don't. I have mixed feelings on that because every once in a while I read a paper about the Alcubierre drive and some of the theoretical physics and math behind it, stating that mathematically it is actually possible to create a bubble, if you will, and travel faster than light.
Yeah, like a warp bubble. Yeah.
Like a warp bubble, right? That's what the Alcubierre drive is. The other part of it, though, the amount of energy needed and what it does physics-wise as you get closer to the speed of light makes me feel like it doesn't matter how much energy we have. There'll never be enough to actually do it on the regular. You might be able to theoretically do it once, but good Lord, the amount of energy is like greater than the sun's output has been since it was born already. So it on the math side of it. So it just doesn't make sense that way. For me, I think it's more likely that because space and time work like a piece of paper. I don't have a piece of paper. Because space and time work like a flat piece of paper, and when you fold the two together, now those points touch, right? This idea of folding space, a la the ships in Dune, right, where they fold space and unfold.
Like Event Horizon.
And now you're not at this point; you're at this point. In reality, you never moved, but in space, time, you did. I think that's more likely than anything else, just because the math actually supports it and the amount of energy needed is not astronomical either. So I think I think it's way off. I think it'll be a long time, a lot longer than any of us think, before we actually are able to leave the solar system and go as far as just Proxima Centauri, the closest star that has planets orbiting around it, 4.3, 4.2 light years from here. I think that's going to take us a very long time to get to the point to where we can actually travel there and back in somebody's lifetime, if ever. It might turn out that, unfortunately, it's possible, but it's a generation ship. And I don't know.
I think we've got so many people right now that just are denying science to begin with, that building spaceships is so far out of reach at this point. So, like, we're going to, I don't know, the Elon Musk robots are going to kill us before we get to that point, I think.
Well, we are going to be the Elon Musk robots. That's what Neuralink is for, inserting the robots directly into our own brains. He's going to turn us into the Borg.
Yeah.
So, which, in some ways I'm all for. Yeah, I'm all for it. I'm kind of there. I would love to have one of those implants that would make me think a little faster. You ever see the movie with Bradley Cooper? He takes that pill, Limitless, right?
Yeah.
I am all for that, thinking faster. I mean, life is a chess match, right? And if you can think 2 steps ahead of the guy in front of you, you're going to beat him. If you can think 3 steps ahead of the guy in front of you, you're really going to beat him. And if you can outthink somebody, then you can win any scenario. So the more steps ahead you get, unlike this game of chess I'm playing with Joel, who's kicking my ass. So I won 1. I won 1 out of 3 so far. This one I'm going to lose. I'm going to be 1 for 4. Anyway.
When they make the sex robots, it's over. We're not going to do anything else.
That is all man longs for, is
how
to get a woman in bed. All of this stuff we do.
Mm-hmm.
Unlike this podcast, because that doesn't help that. But
step this way into the scanner, please.
Yeah, there we go. Yeah. No, I mean that's my take on it. I think it'll come. I think it'll take a really long time to get there. I don't think it'll be warping the way that we kind of see it inside of Star Trek itself. I think it'll be more like, well, and Galactica does that too, where they jump. Boom, boom, they jump from one place to another.
Yeah, but it takes a while to spool back up and go again.
Well, I can understand that because it's an energy level thing. But yeah, I think it's going to be something closer to that. I don't think it'll be portals either, because if it's a portal, well, you have to have a portal on one end and you have to have a portal on the other. Well, there goes that.
Well, okay, I do get some other feedback.
Okay.
Since let's get out of craziness with all this.
Okay.
I posted that we were going to be reviewing Trials and Tribble-ations, and I also posted what is the best toppings on nachos. So
the best topping is on nachos. Probably got more feedback than the.
Yeah,
of course. Welcome to Foodcast, ladies and gentlemen. Every Sunday.
Taryn says guacamole. Juan says carne asada. Mike says pork and beer cheese. John says beef fajitas and sour cream. And then Rachel did have a question for us.
Oh.
Did Starfleet find out about the Tribbles? That's her question. I don't know what that means.
What she means is at the end of Trials and Tribble-ations, the station is infested with Tribbles. And they don't tell Mulder and Scully. So
they had to have found out. I mean, those things are everywhere. Quick.
It depends. Depends on what was done. It depends. I mean, if they have any monetary value, then Sisko probably he likely had Quark call someone to, hey, come get these things.
Yeah.
He took a little extra cheddar out of the Starfleet coffers that week. And
yeah, probably. All right. Well, that was all the feedback I have.
That's a good point.
Yeah.
All right. Awesome. So I guess now we're moving into the topic.
Yeah.
Talking about Star Trek in this week's topic. Talking about the Star Trek in this week's topic.
Awkward pauses.
I'm just sitting here waiting, and I knew if I didn't just jump right in and start talking, you guys would be like, "Wait, wait."
Well, I feel like you and I have talked a lot this episode, and Dan hasn't talked much.
I know. I need to shut up.
Sorry. No, that's okay. Hey, I like watching Trekcast too.
There you go. He lost the beard and has lost his power.
Oh,
that's it.
Yes.
That's it.
Yes.
That's it.
All right. So the topic today is Trials and Tribble-ations. It's what, season 5, episode 19?
Episode 6.
Episode
I've got
6,
the
season
Wikipedia
5.
Right
okay.
now.
Hey, go for it. You're ahead of me. Go ahead and read it.
Oh, it's season 5, episode 6. This was a big to do when they made it.
Yeah.
It was one of the first times that they used the CGI technology in this respect to incorporate the current cast into an old TOS episode, the Trials and Tribble-ations. So that was
holds
really,
up. It
does hold up. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, that's always an amazing thing about that. You go and watch a movie and it's like, wow, that looked fantastic. And then like 6 years later you watch and goes, wow, that looks like shit. It's like somehow it degrades.
There's some rough spots for sure.
Sure. But I mean, this looks pretty good. It's a television show.
Good.
This looks really good. So,
yeah. It looks like they knew their limitations and worked around it to make it.
Yes.
Very much.
It's kind of like how the first Jurassic Park still kind of holds up because they use a lot of practical. Like they used a lot of people in the old costumes to do like the close-up interactions.
Yeah.
So that helped, and those people even acted like 60s actors as opposed to current, which helped.
Yes.
Yeah. That was a smart move. So.
Well, it was very well thought out. That's great. That was what's great about DS9. There was so much love and care and thought put into these episodes, other than Move Along Home. And so, I mean, you can really feel it though. And watching it again, there's so many like I was saying at the beginning of the show, there's so many one-liners that are they're perfect. You know, Bashir, right at the beginning of this, when he gets dressed into his blue shirt, is his costume or whatever you want to call it, his uniform. He just, why aren't you guys in the wrong colors? And he's like, no, didn't you know your history? And he's like, I'm a doctor, not a historian, you know. It's like instantly he's already talking like Bones, you know. It's perfect. It was just a little throwaway thing, you know, but it was great.
There's a lot of little things.
There's a ton of them. I wish I would have had time to go and clip some of those out. Like when they're on the runabout, or not the runabout, but they're on the Defiant. They're sitting on the bridge. You've got O'Brien and you've got Jadzia and you've got Cisco, right? Mm-hmm. And this is after an earlier conversation when they first meet Barry.
Oh yeah. And it's the same dude.
Yeah, and you kind of come into this scene in the middle of their conversation, and O'Brien's like, "No, seriously, next time he comes around, you just." Is that lilac? And they're talking about how Warp smells. It's so great, you know? It's just lots of little moments like that.
Well, they're just it's how it is. You bust each other's balls, you know, and
you do. You do.
Yeah. Let's see what else. It's very well received in the fan community. It's one of the best episodes of all time, according to Vulture and comicbook.com and Nerdist and Screen Rant. Screen Rant ranked it as its second best all-time Star Trek episode, and that they just ranked it last year.
So I don't know about that, but okay.
Yeah, I don't know about
that. It's up there. It's definitely up there. But
Vulture had it as fourth, and comicbook.com had it as the fifth all-time. So
I think it's extremely well done.
Yeah.
I think they did so many little things to tie the old episode to the new episode. Even things like when you're watching stuff that was obviously filmed for this episode, it's Dax and Cisco in the corridor, they're whispering to each other. You hear the audio from the old episode.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, the characters, the character interactions from the old episode, and they've remixed the audio so it sounds like it's coming from down the hallway. They do a lot of things like that to give the illusion, to add to the illusion that this is happening, 20 feet away. Or even things like in the end of the original episode when Kirk opens the cargo bay door and there's just tribbles falling on him.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, just piles and piles of tribbles. When they're almost done falling, there's one more white tribble that falls on his head. Okay. And when they did this new episode, that time matches up with when Cisco and Dax are looking for the tribble that has the bomb in it. Okay, they know it's in this area, and they're scanning them one by one and tossing them and tossing them and tossing them. And he grabs a white tribble, scans it. That's not it. Tosses it, and then they cut back to Kirk. And
that's the one that
tribble falls on his head. You know, just little things like that they,
perfect.
The bar fight, O'Brien gets dressed down by Kirk for being in the bar fight. And it's just so many awesome scenes like that. And then he's like, I can't believe I lied to Captain Kirk. I told him I didn't start the fight. That'd be the equivalent of, we go back in time and it's like, oh my God, I lied to Dwight Eisenhower. But they really did make it all fit down to the style of makeup that they have the new actors, the current actors wearing to match up with what was done, 30 years earlier or whatever. The lighting, you look at the lighting is, all those scenes on the Defiant, the lighting is completely different than the scenes on the Enterprise and on K7. Bashir's hairstyle. It changed his hairstyle when he changed into the blue.
Well, Brian did a little bit too, more slick down. But
Well, like and when they did the bar fight, that lighting, that's hard to replicate because like they had. It's not just the lighting styles are different. The types of lights they used back then and what they used in the 90s, completely different. So they had to have gotten the old lights to match.
Yeah.
So that's a big deal.
Yeah. Another thing that they could have done, because today's writers would have done this, and DS9 writers knew better, but they could have made the Enterprise and they could have made that station look more like the ship does, you know what I'm saying? If you go and look at the Enterprise from the 60s versus the Enterprise from the movies or anything else, they look different, right? They were updated, they were more modern, they changed all of that. They could have made the decision to do that to make it fit more in line instead of that jump of, you know, that look and that feel, but they didn't. And I'm really happy that they did not.
Yeah.
I'm glad they didn't, because this is not a story. This is not a story where they travel back in time to the 23rd century. That's not what this story is. This is a story where they travel back in time to this episode of Star Trek.
Yeah.
Right.
So if they change anything and it doesn't look like this episode of Star Trek, you're completely taken out of it.
Yep.
If they did a different story where they travel back to the 23rd century and they're on, you know, Vulcan, but in the 23rd century, nobody's going to care what it looks like.
Yeah.
Unless you're in that same spot where, you know, that episode was Amok Time, I think. I don't know. But yeah, because they were traveling to a specific episode, interacting with specific events that we know occurred. I mean, they have to do it that way, and I'm glad they did.
Yep.
So when I was watching this episode, the thought occurred to me: we're going to get Strange New Worlds, which is going to be our episodic show, right? The one that's going to be just all over the place. So in theory, you could do this same premise with an episode from either TNG or Voyager or DS9 or even Enterprise. So what episode would you want to revisit and do something similar?
Like have Strange New Worlds go forward?
Yeah, go into that episode and be part of it.
Huh.
I mean, we don't have to answer it right away. Like, we can still talk a little bit more and give you some time to think about that. But
yeah, I don't know. That's weird.
Because it's possible now. And it would be the same idea. Like, you know, time period, distance. It would be about right. So
yeah, I mean, and I'm sure there's a scenario there that you can come up with that I would probably really enjoy. But at the same time, it's, you know, I go back to the same thing again with what they're doing versus what they're not doing, and it's give me something new, give me something more. Don't retread over everything that's come before. Don't rewrite over everything that's come before. You know, don't erase and wash out things that are quote unquote canon. And I'm not the biggest stickler for canon anyway. I mean, I am, but I'm not. Like I can kind of see through some of that for what it is. Because but you know, I feel like if they were to do that, then that would be. I mean, it might turn out to be cool and look great if they did it right and it made it look good, like this episode, right? Then it'd be fun. But with that said, it's like that seems kind of lazy. Like, give me something new, progress.
I mean, I think if they're giving us new stuff, that's cool, and then like maybe do this once, like that'd be fine.
Yeah,
they could do. Did you guys ever see the movie The Final Countdown?
No,
yeah, I think so.
It's from like 1981. It's the USS Nimitz is an aircraft carrier, and it goes through an electrical storm out in the middle of the ocean, and it's in the Pacific, and it gets thrown back in time, and it's 2 days before the Japanese attack Pearl Harbor, and they know. So now you have a modern aircraft carrier equipped with modern aircraft that could just destroy that Japanese attack force like that.
Yeah.
And the dilemma is, you know, what do we do? Do we let history play out? Or is this a United States warship and everyone on board has sworn to protect the United States and its assets, and we know this attack is coming? So, I mean, they could do something similar to that. Imagine, I don't know, Discovery. Discovery goes back in time somehow, and it's the day before Wolf 359.
I was just thinking of that.
Yeah.
Or the Enterprise anyway with Pike.
they've kind of they've kind of hinted that Wolf 359 is the 9/11 of of the Federation.
Yeah. The only thing I'm thinking now that would technically be difficult to do is the different aspect ratios of the shows. Because at least with TOS and DS9, they were shot in that 3x4, 4x3, whereas now it's 16:9.
Yeah.
So
you know what? WandaVision changed aspect ratios back and forth through the
that's
show.
true.
And it wasn't as distracting as you would think it was.
No,
so
pretty well done.
I think they could work around that, I think.
Yeah.
So another thing I really liked about Trials and Tribble-ations, even though they were back in the 23rd century, they were still the characters that we know. They were still acting like the characters we know. Just some of the interactions between Odo and Worf. I mean, Odo seems to be just egging him on in this episode. And
Odo's the troll,
love it.
Man.
Yeah, he kind of is.
I love it.
Yeah.
And the scene where Bashir thinks that the hot chick in the turbo lift might be his grandmother.
Yeah.
and that it's a predestination paradox that he's supposed to father himself somehow. And what's that?
He's John Connor. He's gonna be his.
He's John Connor. Yeah, he's supposed to John Connor, his grandma.
Yeah.
And O'Brien is just, these guys, they're buddies. They're buddies at this point. They've already transcended the I can't stand you relationship, and they're into the buddy relationship. But still, even though they're buddies, O'Brien can't stand him. Sometimes. And there's one line where, they're discussing this, and the Defiant calls them and asks if they're ready for transport. And O'Brien's answer is, "Are we ever?" And I just, people say there's no comedy in Star Trek. There is. It's a different type of comedy.
Subtle.
It's subtle, and you need to know the characters in order to get the comedy. And I love little things like that.
I mean, I liked when Odo had the Tribble and loved it. It was like the first time you ever seen Odo happy with anything.
Yeah.
And he's just like, "War, really? How could you hate these things?" Yeah. But it was a good episode, a lot of fun. So
it was.
I like it. Very rewatchable.
Yeah.
For
sure.
I agree with that.
I think before we wrap up, we should kind of touch on the latest Falcon and Winter Soldier. Now that's over.
That's the series finale, or that's
that
done. Season, or are they done? Because I can't. They kind of went back and forth on whether or not there'd be another season of that.
They announced that there's going to be a Sam Wilson Captain America movie.
Yeah. Okay.
So I don't know if that means we'll also get a season or just the movie, but there'll be more.
So there'll be more. I mean, the first couple of episodes were okay, and then it started to just go all over the place. And then that second to last one called Truth, Jiminy Christmas, they couldn't decide if that was an episode of Miami Vice or a buddy comedy or what. I mean, it was all over the freaking place. It was almost I almost turned it off and said I can skip this because nothing's happening, and yet nothing's happening, and I don't care. So I don't know. It just got kind of irritating to me. And then in the finale, it was just, I don't know. I mean, there's some good parts to it. It's a decent series. It's a quick thing to watch with 5-6 episodes, but
I liked it. I thought it was fun. I thought it was good action.
I don't like what they did with Carter, but then again, who is she? The power broker.
Yeah. So I've seen theories that she's been like a bad guy all along, because if you look at Civil War, for all the things to go right for Zemo, he had to have had help, and the way she could have helped him, she still could have looked like a good guy, but still been helping him.
Yeah,
and then also she was blipped out for those 5 years, theoretically, unless she faked her own death and then
She faked her own blip.
Yeah, she faked her own blip.
Yeah.
So. Yeah.
Or she's a Skrull.
They're gonna have to do that. Somebody's gonna be a Skrull.
Yeah.
Which it'll be old man Steve Rogers, and then we'll have 2 Captain Americas.
Yeah, I don't know.
Okay. Overall, I enjoyed it.
Yeah.
There were some things that they made some mistakes. You know me, I'm big on procedural things.
Yeah.
And they made some procedural mistakes that don't make sense, and I can't let these kind of things go. But like this senator, okay?
Yeah.
He's a senator, but he's on the repatriation council.
Right.
He's talking about handing out pardons. Right? These things
they
don't match up. They don't exist.
Yeah.
If you're a senator, then you're a senator. You're part of the legislative branch. You may be on a committee that oversees such and such. Okay, but pardons are handed out by the president. They're not handed out by senators.
Yeah.
If you're on the Global Repatriation Council, I mean, this is a multinational body.
Right.
Okay, so there would not be a senator on this body. That would be
like an ambassador.
It would be an ambassador or an envoy
appointee
or someone appointed by the executive branch of the government. Okay, so that didn't make sense. I mean, this is obvious. This Global Repatriation Council is part of the United Nations. It has to be. Yeah. It has to be. And they even acknowledge that because their activities are based in New York. That's where the UN is based out of. It's based out of New York City. Right. So, I mean, it didn't make sense. He's kicking John Walker out of the army like he has the authority to do that.
Yeah.
No, you don't.
Yeah.
No, you don't. That's a military decision. And again, the military answers to the executive branch of the government, not the legislative branch. So just a lot of that procedural stuff.
See, stuff like that, like, okay, news stuff drives me wild in shows. Like when they run out of their news vans and they have the cameras and like, we're live and we're doing this. No. You know how long it takes to get the microwave up, to attach all the cables, to get dialed in. You're not just, boom, we're live, right?
Yeah.
So, yeah, I get that. That shit drives me nuts, too. So, yeah.
That's how people perceive it,
and
though.
John Walker was painted as the villain for a while there. And, the guy was sent out there to do an impossible job.
Yeah.
He was sent out there. They said, here, put on the costume of Captain America, carry the shield of Captain America. You have none of the powers of Captain America, but go apprehend all of these people that do have the powers of Captain America.
Right.
And then he fucks up, and they're and they hang him out to dry.
Surprise!
But I think but I think the show is showing that that's not right. That we do that either. Like, we got to treat our veterans better. Like, I don't think they ever. Well, yeah, there's that too. But I don't think they ever resolved whether or not John Walker's a villain or not. I think that was a weird. Like, they set him up to be, turn evil with having the powers after injecting himself with that vial, and they just kind of leave it hanging out there. And then they set up Julia Louis-Dreyfus with the purple hair as being a villain, and they just kind of leave it out there. And obviously, if this is going to go into some sort of movie, then they can progress that, right? But Jiminy Christmas, like here's my 2 problems with it overall, right? When the hell does this happen? It happens after the blip. Does it happen before, during, or after WandaVision? Before WandaVision.
You can't tell by watching. Yeah, but you can't tell by watching it. Where are all the other Avengers? How come there's not even a hint of anybody that's there's not even a talk about it? Like, you've got these 6, 7 super villains running around, and yet you're going to just send out Falcon, who doesn't have any powers. He just has a suit. And you're going to send out the Winter Soldier, who is not really even supposed to be doing any of this. He's supposed to be in therapy. And we're going to send out Walker, who also doesn't have powers. We're going to call him Captain America, right? And so
they're also real hazy on who does Falcon work for?
Nobody.
He's working. They refer to him as working with the Air Force, but
But he's not in the Air Force.
He doesn't even get a paycheck.
He's not in the Air Force, and he doesn't get a paycheck.
Right.
And this idea that he doesn't get a paycheck even from, the Avengers. I mean, they're bankrolled by Tony Stark.
Right.
He should have plenty of money.
Avenging ain't free.
No.
Yeah.
So there's where that whole thing kind of falls apart for me too. And then the other part of it, I lost my train of thought there, I think.
You think Captain America will get a bank loan? I mean, Falcon couldn't, but maybe Captain America can.
Well, Falcon couldn't because, reasons. And they just had to
Well, he didn't have a paycheck. He's been gone for 5 years.
Yeah.
There's no credit history. That's why.
Yeah. So, no. And so there's that weird juxtaposition of the timeline as far as where it's at, why, who's doing what, where, who can help with things, and why there's no hint of anybody in the background. There's no discussion of anything in the background. There's no conversation about it. You would think at some point somebody would be able to at least be thrown in for some intel or thrown into the backstory or something. But it's never. Oh, where's Sword? That's the other thing. That's the other thing, right? So he's not employed by the Air Force. He's not getting a paycheck. He's not getting a paycheck from the Avengers. He's not really with them anymore. So he's totally off of everything. Yet he still has all of his gear. And where the hell is Sword? Sword is never mentioned. At all. Sword didn't suddenly disappear after this season finale and right before WandaVision started. Sword was around during the time after everybody disappeared. That's where Sword came from, right? During that 5-year blip period, that's when Sword was created and built up. So why isn't Sword involved with any of this stuff? Why don't we have any kind of correlation?
You needed to explain why War Machine wasn't there, because for sure he's working for the military. He always has been. And if you knew that there was going to be a potential threat at this summit, why would you not have War Machine there?
Right. That would have been a great cameo.
Yeah. If he's just like, hey,
been
Sam,
a great
I'm here to help you out.
Yeah, and that would have been a great way to explain why this entire series is missing so many elements of the rest of the MCU.
This entire series was rewritten in progress while it was being made.
Yeah.
Okay. There was a subplot about a killer virus.
Yeah.
That with what's going on in the world right now, they made the decision to remove the entire subplot. Or I don't even know if it was a subplot. I mean, it may have been the main plot. Okay. But in the first or second episode, when because some stuff remains from that. In the first or second episode, when Winter Soldier, Bucky busts into the back of that truck while it's moving.
And he finds vaccines.
They've stolen vaccines. Okay, there was supposed to be a huge plot involving this big virus and the Kylie's mom, Mama Danya, or whatever her name was. Okay, in the regular version she died. Originally she was going to die from this virus, and I'm not sure how it tied back to the Flag Smashers and their activities. But I know when you film a show and then right in the middle you decide we're going to change what this show is about, we're going to edit it to do this, we're going to do reshoots for this. I mean, shit gets messed up.
Yeah.
So I guarantee a lot of that, it was a different story when they filmed it than when they edited it. So,
but they covered it well. They covered over that pretty well.
Yeah, I didn't know any of that. I didn't know that. I didn't know that was a thing.
Yeah. Well, so technically, what you're saying, Dan, hasn't been confirmed, but there's a lot of good clues that is the case.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I don't know. Loki looks good. I'm excited for that, and that's in a couple months.
That's June, isn't it?
June, yeah. We got a little bit of a break. Then Loki, and it doesn't stop after that. It's like Loki and Black Widow, and
Isn't Black Widow in May?
It was supposed to be, but they moved it to July. And I think that'll be the first movie I go back to the theaters for.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm all vaccinated now. I'm fine, but
yeah.
I'm gonna wait for that one.
I was supposed to. Yeah, I was supposed to get the vaccine, and I was like, you know what? Why am I wasting my time? I'm gonna go waste 3 hours to get vaccinated, and I still have to wear a freaking mask. So, screw it.
I think you're oversimplifying it, but
I am.
Yeah.
I'm just also
It was a big
middle-aged,
relief for me, man, to
pissed
get
white
it done.
man.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm sure it was. So
You know what? It's been over a year since I had COVID,
yeah.
and I still can't smell certain things.
Really?
Mhm.
I use salt on my food, where I didn't do that for decades. And I don't really advertise this, but fuck it, the cat's out of the bag. You know, that brain fog, that COVID brain fog that they talk about.
Yeah.
I have that. I have it. If I don't write it down,
it's gone.
It goes, huh?
It's gone.
Wow.
It's gone. You know, and one of my superiors at work recently said, you know, hey, you know, I read your last report and it was excellent. It was very detailed. It was like, yeah, well, if I don't write it down, I'm going to forget that shit. So you think I did a great job for you, but I actually did it for me because
Yeah.
I need to, you know, I need to document it for myself.
Yeah.
So I'm hoping at some point that comes back.
Yeah.
That goes away.
A year,
Hopefully, man.
That's tough. I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Yeah. So,
Yeah.
I mean, looking back, if I had the opportunity to take something a year ago to prevent that, I would.
Yeah.
I'm not telling you what to do, Chad. You know, you do what you do.
Oh,
what
no,
you decide
no.
is best for yourself.
Oh,
But,
and I think
you
people's
know,
perspective on what it
all
was a
these
year
people
ago
who
versus
say-
now is different. Yeah.
All these people who say, "Oh, it's just the flu."
Yeah.
No, it's obviously a little bit different than that. But yeah, I mean, a year ago,
I'm tired.
if there was a vaccine, I would have taken it.
I'm tired all the time.
Yeah.
I can't remember the last time I wasn't tired.
Dang. Yeah.
So,
that sucks, man.
That does, man. I didn't know that.
I'm sorry.
yeah, it's cool.
Well,
It's
everyone
cool.
else.
We're getting by.
Yeah. Go get your shots.
Go get your shots.
Yeah, I'm not sitting here advocating for not getting a shot. I'm just, you know, vaccines are vaccines. You should take them when you can. But.
Yeah. But yeah. So there you go. Well, welcome to Trekcast Vaccine Talk.
Backcast. Yeah. It's a backcast.
Sorry, I just sucked all the air out of the room.
No, you didn't.
No, that's good information for a lot of people. So that's good to know.
That you don't really hear about anybody talking about. You don't hear that in the news. I mean, I've heard about the tired thing. We knew about the smell thing, but the brain fog thing, I honestly never heard anybody talk about it like that.
Yeah.
Never. So.
Yeah. Did that
good
change
information?
Your mind, Chad? A little bit. Okay.
A little bit it does, actually. A little bit it does. So, I mean, I travel a lot. I've been traveling since May 15th of last year, and I travel a lot. In fact, the next 5 weeks, I'm gone 4 to 5 days out of each one of those weeks.
Yeah.
For the next month. So, and I'll be all over the place. I'll be in Wichita. I'll be in Detroit. I'll be in Nebraska. I'll be in Chicago. I'll be in Minneapolis. I mean, yeah. So it'll be all over. So, you know, that's the other part of it too. That the one time that I was able to get signed up for it, I ended up having to be out of town anyway. So it's like I'm never around, and they're only doing these during the middle of the. It's kind of stupid how they're doing it. They're only doing them during the middle of the week. It's like I get this email saying, "Oh, these sites are available." It's like, well, that one's 3 hours from here. That one's 2 hours from here. Like, what the hell? Or oh, this one happens to be here, but I'm out of town. So it's kind of a hit or miss thing.
Who are you trying to schedule them through?
I get an email from the state telling me where they're available throughout the state.
Oh, okay.
I can't speak for your state, but I know here that CVS is CVS a chain where you are?
Yep.
Okay.
I get the mile-long receipts too.
Yeah.
It seems to be extremely easy to schedule through CVS through their website.
Huh.
So that's an option.
There's also a website called Dr. B, I think it is, where you can get the ones that they don't want to waste, when there's an abundance.
Yeah.
And those are pretty easy to get. So, but I do have a question for you about travel. Let's see if this lightens it up a little bit. What do you look for in a good continental breakfast at a hotel?
Oh, I don't eat breakfast at a hotel.
Damn it!
They're not serving them. They haven't been serving them at the hotels since I started traveling back in May. Not a single place has been serving breakfast other than here's a go bag, and it's like here's a muffin and an apple.
Yeah, here's a muffin here's a prepackaged muffin.
Yeah, exactly. Other than that, and for the most part, if they have something and it's scrambled eggs and sausage, I'll eat that. Otherwise, I'm getting a coffee at Starbucks and off I go with my day, and that's my breakfast. So when I'm on the road anyway.
I wonder if that's going to come back or not.
Probably not. Well,
because it's the thing, like, this chain started doing the hot breakfast, so that this chain started doing it to be competitive with this chain, so this chain started doing it to be competitive.
It'll probably come back.
But what I'm saying is it kind of became the industry standard.
Right.
And right now, no one's been doing it for a year. So
right now, someone does.
Well, that's the thing. Right now, the industry standard is no. There's muffins on the counter over there. There's prepackaged muffins on the counter there. So it's one of these things where, IHG is not going to start doing it again unless Marriott says that they're doing it. And Marriott's not going to do it unless IHG says, they're going to do it. And both of them have lost so much money over the last year and a half that, I don't know if that's coming back.
I think it will, because they're going to want to attract customers as soon as everything really reopens.
It'll be a competition thing.
It'll be a competition to bring it back.
It'll be another year, maybe two, before that competition gets hot enough to where they feel like they need to do it.
Right.
Yeah.
But it'll come back.
Eventually.
Yeah, it'll come back. And then I'll get my...
What about Golden Corral? Is that coming back?
No.
Dude, the Golden Corral went out of business here.
Yeah, they're all out of business.
Oh, they all are?
They're all gone.
I don't know if corporate. I don't know if I don't know if corporate is out of business, but every Golden Corral I see is the doors are locked.
I was shocked that the Ruby Tuesdays in Lincoln, Nebraska, had an open salad bar.
Oh wow!
Here's your plate. Go get your stuff. And there's gloves there. You have to put on gloves, and you have to, then take the gloves off and throw them away. But that's what they have. I mean,
any of that shit in Idaho, man.
Yeah,
they do not care.
No,
they're just. Oh man, they haven't cared since like July of last year. Like they just went fuck it.
Yeah.
Oh well, whatever.
If user's gonna die, user's gonna die.
Dude, they did a story
I don't know what that was.
They did
the old guy
about
from
a guy
some
here.
cartoon show.
Yeah. They did a story about a guy here who he had survived cancer, then COVID happened, and like he was in serious lockdown for a long time, and then he found out that there was like a blues festival in August of last year, and then so he went to it and then fucking died 2 weeks later.
Jeez.
Yeah. Whatever. Yeah. All right. Well, I guess we're done.
Yeah. So in closing, I like Star Trek. See you next week.
Starbucks is pretty good.
Killing me, Smalls.
This is Smokey Robinson. I know Happy Chinooka.
Yes.
Chinooka is.
Got to end on a high note, ladies and gentlemen.
Oh,
Right.
Smokey.
Happy Chinooka to all.
Oh, and I totally missed the we're talking about the back, going back in time or going forward time. I totally missed the.
There you go.
Oh well. So,
Nice.
and of course, we didn't play my favorite.
Your booze mean nothing. I've seen what makes you cheer.
Yes. Well, hey, people should let us know what episode they would want to revisit if Strange Worlds or something goes back. So,
yeah, it'll be interesting to see what the rest of the Trek year has in store for us. Obviously, we get Lower Decks next in August, right? Wasn't that August 11th or something like that? Somewhere in the first week. Well, right after I'm going to still call it STLV. Right after Creation there.
Yeah.
So the week after is when Lower Decks comes out, which I think they're missing something. Maybe they'll premiere the first episode at the convention.
Oh, yeah.
Smart.
Yeah,
that would be smart for them to do that.
Pack yourself into this small room.
Exactly. Yeah, we're all gonna get in this room and watch it together.
Everybody breathe on each other. It'll be fine.
It'll be great. Yeah. So.
Yeah.
We'll just all get into the biogel afterwards, and Daniel will scan you.
Wearing our blue underwear as we put the gel on each other.
There you go. Okay. All right, everybody. We'll see. I didn't need that visual. Yeah. Oh, my gosh.
You're welcome.
Yeah. All right. Well, that is it, ladies and gentlemen. This was Trekcast.
I'm going to make like a tree and get out of here.
Yeah. We'll see you here in a couple of weeks and be back with more. Make sure to send us an email at trekcasttng@gmail.com. Follow us on the Instagrams at trekcasttng. Send us an email at chatiswrong@gmail.com. Go visit our website, which I need to update because it hasn't been updated since February. Wah, wah. I just forget about it. I do. I just kind of forget about it. Anyway, that's it, ladies and gentlemen. We'll see you here in a couple of weeks. And I don't think I have the outro sitting here, so I'm going to have to go
whatever.
here.
I'll edit
yeah,
it.
whatever. You'll edit it and put it. Yeah, you edit it and put it in. So.
Yep.
Well, there you have it. Another episode in the can. Check us out at Trekcast.com. Also, if you would, please subscribe to us via iTunes. Leave those reviews. Subscribe to us. We'll get some numbers, get up the list, get more listeners, do more shows, have more fun. But for now, we're all done. So live long and prosper, and we'll see you next week.